In this video, I will tell you about the work of modern Chilean painter Guillermo Lorca. Guillermo was born on March 14, 1984, in Santiago, in an ordinary family. As a child, like many people, he loved to draw. But really, his talent began to unfold in high school. Therefore, he entered the Catholic University, where he studied painting and sculpture. After receiving his BFA in 2006, he went on to study fine art in the studio of Norwegian artist Odd Nerdum. Did you notice the size of his paintings? It is his large-scale oil paintings in a traditional style that have become his hallmark. He has been compared to many people, Renaissance painters, the Dutch, and Francisco Goya. This is not surprising because in his works you can find many signs referring to different periods and masters. Guillermo is well known both in his home country and in the USA, Brazil, France, Italy, and the UK. Every year he holds several solo exhibitions, which are attended by connoisseurs of classical painting and surrealism. Prices for the artist's paintings are in the 5-digit figures. In the works of Guillermo, we see specific symbols, storyline, and complex composition. In his paintings, there are many allegorical images of animals, as well as images of children and women. All this he combines in phantasmagoric scenes, which in the audience cause frightening, almost mystical impressions, make you relive childhood fears. There is a lot of detail in his works. They are not meant for a cursory viewing. In Guillermo's works, one can see more connections with the tradition of magical realism in Latin American literature than in the visual arts. It is as if he is much closer to the world described in the novels of Gabriel Garcia Marquez than to the world depicted in the paintings of Diego Rivera. The influence of the Norwegian artist Odd Nerdrum, from whom Guillermo studied, is very noticeable. Nerdrum has been called a kitsch artist because he identified with what people in the contemporary art world dismiss as kitsch. But at the same time, there was a Baroque influence in his work that can also be picked up in Guillermo's later works. One critic compares Guillermo's canvases to giant posters advertising blockbuster movies, but without the glamour that is inherent in them. The images of people he uses do not contain any additional identifying marks, the most ordinary people we see on the street every day. At the same time, the skill of execution is impressive, considering that the artist was 20 years old at the time of creation. It's not just the technique, but the heartfelt nature of the exploration of human character and the confident control of scale. On the one hand, Guillermo's work is a kind of chamber world of personal fantasy, but on the other hand, paintings of this size are not meant for a chamber atmosphere. Their scale inevitably turns them into a public statement. In Guillermo's studio, the walls are filled with very different images from different sources, old and contemporary. The same can be said of the files in his computer, and his works, accordingly, also have a complex variety of sources. It is obvious that the stories are not formed in one moment, but are assembled slowly by merging and transforming the accumulated images. And this, purely from a technological point of view, was not available to artists even 20-30 years ago. In this sense, he is a very contemporary artist. Despite the fact that Guillermo depicts children and women, there is no eroticism in his paintings. But there is this strange juxtaposition of innocence and looming menace. It seems that something frightening is about to happen. But if you look closely at the faces of the characters, they don't look scared or even worried. Sometimes they seem quite content with the chaos around them. I can't draw any conclusions yet. I have yet to watch and reflect on it. What are your impressions? Did you like Guillermo Lorca's paintings? Did you have a feeling of anxiety? I look forward to your comments.